Hey everyone, welcome to Sunday Night Soul Time. It is July 11th. I hope that you're doing well. I am back from vacation. If you can tell, I might look a little more relaxed. Got some color as well. So what I want to talk with you tonight is about discernment. And I like to call this spiritual or energy discernment, but it's really important. And here's the concept. You are not required to give your attention or time to anything that is like lowering your vibe, anything that is making you feel bad, anything that is bringing you down. In fact, it is your spiritual responsibility, your empowerment responsibility to make choices that help to elevate you, that help to make you feel good, etc. Right? Now, there are always sometimes things that we have to do that we don't want to do. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the gray area. I'm talking about the stuff where you have a choice. But quite frankly, sometimes, pushing the boundaries of what you've thought before about how you have to choose to spend your time, right? Like, how many people are there, for example, in your life that every time you're around them, you just walk away and you really don't feel good. You really feel weighed down or heavy down. But, your ego self, that kind of voice in your head tells you, well, you got to put up with it because they're family, or you've got to put up with it because, it's your friend since childhood. Well, I want you to start to question that. Okay. Because in truth, anything that really is heavy and weighs you down, that's not good for you, is really not the universe's will for you, that's how you invest your energy. So what I want to do tonight is to just get you to start rethinking that, to really start owning some of your power and just taking time right now to reevaluate where you're putting your focus, where you're putting your time, where you're putting your energy, and going, are those things that actually uplift me? For example, if you spend, an hour at evening watching CNN, and every time after you feel horrible, well, then I'll ask you, why do you keep doing it? Oh, because I have to stay informed. Well, are you watching it to stay informed or for some other reason, right? Like that's just something I want you to start to think about. So the real purpose of this is, right now, there's a lot of distraction happening out there, right? But we are responsible for our own consciousness. We are responsible for our own happiness. The world is not something happening to us, it is something happening for us. And our empowerment is that every moment we get to choose where we're focusing our heads, our thoughts, where we're focusing our hearts, our feeling, and then where we're focusing our action, what we're really doing. Okay. And I tell you, when you start to take ownership for this aspect of your life, you can drastically shift your happiness, your abundance, how you're feeling overall. But you have to, one, acknowledge that it's within your power to choose and start to practice discernment and start to practice ownership of what you're discerning. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 things here, how to just start to go about really doing this. And the first is I just want you to start to notice. Take the next week and you can maybe like log it in like a journal or kind of like a little detective. You're starting to observe your life and just start to observe. What am I doing in my life in an average day or an average week, however you want to think about it? Things that make me feel good versus the things that weigh me down. Oh, I'm always having lunch with Susie, my best friend from childhood, every Friday. But for the last 4 months, I've been feeling really depleted by her. Why do you keep doing it? Do you need to have a conversation with her? Do you need to take some space and some distance? Anything that is about protecting your energy and contradicting or like pushing out anything that's bringing you down is in alignment with God's will, universe's will. That's the thing. The highest destiny for you is to be happy, to be in flow, to be in ease, but you have to choose it. You have to choose it. So I want you to start questioning the ideas, oh, I have to do this because I don't want to hurt that person's feelings or da 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 da. No, you get to choose happiness in this lifetime. Okay. So really start to take notice, how you're spending your time in the evening, is binging Netflix really making you feel good? Is the type of even foods you're eating, the types of thoughts or storylines, really just start to take notice of what's depleting you, what's weighing you down, what's bringing you down. Okay. So that's the first. And then the second, once you kind of have an idea, is just to start to take ownership. Remember that you have a choice. right? And so what you want to start to do with this is start to identify like, well, what could I potentially do differently, right? In what ways could I take greater ownership for my energy? So, the first thing you do is kind of audit. And the second thing is start to identify ways of where you can take greater ownership. What are some possibilities of things that you could do? And then number three is exercise discernment. So start putting into action. You know what, Susie? I can't do the weekly lunch anymore. Let's maybe reconvene in September. I've got a lot going on right now and blah, blah, blah. Whatever, I'm going to stop watching an hour of CNN and watch 30 minutes. I'm going to, stop watching Netflix one night a week and instead read a book. Okay. And so start to exercise it. Because the main thing I want you to really take away with, and I know this is pretty simple practices, but they're very helpful ones, is that, over the next few months, there could be potentially like just a lot of distractions in the external environment. So I really want to just start to kind of help you and condition you to really remember that you have a power of choice. You get to choose how you spend your time. You're responsible for your happiness. You're responsible for your energy. No one else is. But you've got to assume ownership of it, and you have to exercise discernment. Okay? There's never been a greater time to really shift and elevate our consciousness. There's a lot of influences and energy that are supporting that right now. Right? But if you let yourself just be dragged down by drama, if you let yourself just spiral in negative thinking all day long, and then kind of sit in your deepest fears, if you allow yourself to be around people that are toxic for you, you are not taking ownership for the shifting and elevation of your consciousness, of your happiness, which is entirely possible and massively available to you right now. So if you have any questions about this, definitely ping me. I'm happy to go into it with you deeper. If you have any topics for a future Sunday Night Soul Time, please send me an email and suggest them to me. And final thing, definitely tune in tomorrow, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific for my podcast on Unity Radio. The details are in the email. I'm going to be talking with an incredible woman about releasing stories of self-doubt and fear. So it's going to be a good one. Anyway, I hope you have an incredible week. That's all I've got for now. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.